Hello, and today we will be adding the control panel for the face rig and adding the eyebrows and eyes. So let's begin. First we'll add the eyebrows. Let's create a box and align it to the head. And try to position it like an eyebrow. Maybe use the front view to help you by pressing F. Try to experiment and see what you can get. And when you've got one eyebrow, hold shift and copy it over. Try and make sure you line it correctly. And if you want, change the color to something more closer to what the face is, but that doesn't really matter for now. And then we'll just add the eyes. It's pretty much just make a box just like we did for the eyebrow and position it where the eyeball would be, the pupil. Try to make it square. So we'll later on add a pupil slider to make the pupil bigger, so it doesn't need to be exactly right. And like last time, hold shift and copy it over. And now we will start creating the control panel. And after we can create the control panel, we'll use morphing, but we'll get to that. So after you've had the eyes and eyebrows, go to create shapes. And in the splines, create a rectangle. Now, your control panel could look very differently from mine, so just experiment, but I'll show you the basic shape. Basic shapes of what we're using. So first we'll have the slider. So make another rectangle inside. You have a rectangle. Size doesn't matter, but it's up to you. And after you've created the rectangle, create a circle. And align it to the other rectangle we created. Maybe squish it so that looks like mine if you want. And using the select and link tool, with your circle selected, link it to the other rectangle, and that rectangle to the big rectangle we made first. Now reselect your circle and rename it something. This one will be for our eyelids, even though we don't have them yet. Right. Eyelids. And after you've renamed it, at the top, go on to animation, eye key solvers, high solver, and link it to the second rectangle we made. And then hide the eye keychain. Now if we were to move this, it's a bit funny. So reselect the second rectangle we made and go to the heresy panel and click eye key and disable the rotational axis. And then reselect your circle, and with the eye key panel still open, disable the X, Y, and Z axis and rotation. We're unlikely to need those. And for the sliding joints, enable all of them, active and limited. As you noticed, it's gone to the center of the slider. It's best if we change our position, select and move to parent with the drop down box beside the scale. We'll start with the Y axis, well, that's the only one we need to do, and change the wrong one. And for some reason mine won't work. Why isn't this working? Come on. There we go. I guess it was a bug or something. So if yours for some reason doesn't go down after you've changed the from and to, so if the slider is in the middle, make sure that you change the from to a minus and the to without a mouse. It'll probably be different to depend on what size your rectangle is, but it will not be able to go past the top and bottom, which is what we wanted. And the reason why we changed it to parent for the is because if we were to rotate any of this, it would still go the right direction. And also we could change this to 0 to be, or 2.5. That's one kind of slider we're going to be using. So we'll do the similar thing, but for the eyebrows, like in mine. So create another rectangle. We should also name these. So make sure you name them. So make a new rectangle. Try to make it square. And then make a circle and align it to the new rectangle we created so that it's in the center. Make it smaller than what I did, 0.5. And then, like we did before, link the circle to the new rectangle and the rectangle to the very first rectangle we made, which we'll rename to control panel. And just like the slider, we'll go to animation, key solvers, and high solver, and link it to the new rectangle. And again, hide the key chain. Oh, no, hide that. And with the square, go to the heresy with the square selected and disable the rotation joints, because if not, the circle will make it rotate. And select the circle and disable the rotational joints as well. And enable the sliding joints for X, Y, and Z, and limited it. And like the slider wheel, the Y and X axis. Instruction minus 2.5 every time, so it's good for me. And if you made it a square, whatever you did for the y-axis should be the same for the x-axis. Make sure you test it, and it should be able to go into the corners as well. So now you gotta now that we have the two basic sliders, make sure you name them. Make sure you rename the circle as well. Now make another eyelid and eyebrow sliders for the other side, so simply select them and shift copy them. And for my rig I used these as well for the eyes, so copy these. And create another one for the mouth. It's gonna be, the mouth will be the most complicated part of this whole face rig. And for an extra slider, if you want to add the eyes dilated. Oh, and also one for the teeth. You may want to add text to text underneath them to make sure you don't get confused. If so, just go to the splines text and eyelid and eyebrow. After you've renamed, not renamed, yes, rename. Also rename all the circles, as it will become very clear later on that it'll make life a lot easier. always good to be organized. And after that, that should be all we need for the face side of the rigging. So before we go on to adding some facial expressions for the control panel, we'll first manage layers so that we can get this, and make sure first to select all the text and make sure that they're also connected to or linked to the link to the control panel, and selecting everything except for the circles. Control panel, create a new layer and add these. Control panel sliders. Then make another one. Nah. But this is so that we can freeze. Okay, that didn't work. Wait. Okay, reselect it. The reason we do that is so that we can, it makes it a bit easier, so you can't select them now. That's one reason. And could click on the control panel and link that to the head, just so that. So if I was to move, also link the mouth, and eyes, and eyebrows to the head as well, so that freeze that, and we need to rotate this to follow it. 23 minutes duration. We'll make a start on the. We'll do the eyebrows first. No, we don't do the head first. We'll add the eyelids. So, create a plane for the eyelids. We forgot to add that. So in the geometry tab, and align it to the head or the eyes. And rotate them, and the angle snap toggle is very helpful for to get it every 5 degrees. Saved me a lot of time in the past. Five. Make sure that's about right. When you think that you've got that right, make sure it's right. It's right about here. You can change this if you want it to be right at the just before it shows up, but I prefer it like this. So it's up to you. And convert it to a poly, to an editable poly, and in front view if you want, select the top faces and the detach tool, detach it, and we've got the eyelids, so we can have them like that. Good. We'll keep them closed for now. Rename them if... Nah, don't rename them. Don't need. And copy them over to the other eye with the Shift X if you want. Try to make sure they're centered if you can. And after you've done that, we also need to add teeth. So with another plane, create another plane. We'll do the exact same thing we did like we did for the... Actually, never mind. Don't create a plane. Just copy over the eyelids. In the front view if you want. Press F3 if you want to see into the wireframe if you didn't already know that. And try to... And using the scale, just scale them out so that they're much big. And just so that we can say we've done this, just go into the selection area in your modify panel and click edge and click one of the top lines and holding shift click the next one beside it and it will select that entire line, and with the select and move tool move it up so it's above the cutout area, and do the same for the bottom half. Yeah, that seems right. And then selecting the head, convert it to a poly. This means if we were to attach any more shapes to it, the UV won't reset completely and we don't have to go through all the mapping again completely. So change that, and then with the attach to an edit geometry area, attach the eyelids and the mouth and the teeth. And yes, it will look a bit weird, but we could change that afterwards. Oh no, yes. Okay, that's right. Make sure you don't attach the front lips mouth bit. We only want the teeth and the eyelids connected to it. Now if we were to select the elements, the added objects we added have a separate element, so that we could simply move these up and down and they wouldn't affect the other geometry. Anyway, so yeah. But now in the modifier list, add another unwrap UV VW and then the polygon selections. Open a UV editor. I don't believe we need to flatten the image. So change the background to the map. Get it too. And with the eyelids selected, move them into a place with a similar color to the. Press F2 if you want to get rid of that annoying red overlay, which can be annoying sometimes. Doesn't have to be exactly where the over the face, but anywhere with a similar color. That's looking okay. The same with a CTRL if you want to select over faces. Okay. Now for the teeth, you may want to hide the front face lip things, but you don't have to. That would make it easier actually. So I'm going to do that. Hide selection. Open UV editor and move the faces to a white area. Make sure faces are selected. Make sure none of it's in the overlapping. And you got the teeth. So slowly the face is coming together. And then if you are 100% sure that the UVs are right, convert it to another editable poly. And I think we'll stop it there for this tutorial. So in this tutorial we've created the control panel for the face rig, and added the eyelids and teeth. And in the next tutorial we'll finally start adding some more complicated things for the face. So we'll start off with just making the eyelids and the eyebrows with the control panel work, and then we'll move on to the lips, mouth. So thank you for watching, and please thumbs up and subscribe.